Imagine chasing a breakthrough that could change the future. A discovery so important that leaving your son for a short while felt worth it. But on that mission, everything changes. The partner you trusted betrays you, steals your work, and leaves you stranded at the edge of a black hole.
Sorry, dearie.
Seconds for you turns into decades back home, and by the time you escape and return, your world is different, your life is gone, and the child you left behind has lived an entire life without you. This is the tragic story of Horizon. Dr. Mary Summers, aka Horizon, was one of the brightest minds in the Outlands, an astrophysicist, a researcher, and above all, a mother. She lived with her young son Newton aboard Olympus, a floating city dedicated to scientific breakthroughs. But the Outlands were facing a crisis, energy was running out and civilization was on the brink. Mary believed she found the solution, a rare mineral called branthium, powerful to end the crisis forever, but it could only be found in one place, the accretion disk of a black hole, a place no one has ever returned from. Still, Mary accepted the mission, not for glory or science, but to build a future Newton could thrive in. Before leaving, she held him close and promised him she'd come back.
But first, she made a promise. I'll be back, and we'll be together soon.
Do you promise?
Aye, my love.
A promise she fully intended to keep. But this is where the story takes a dark turn. Mary was partnered with another brilliant scientist, Dr. Reed, who is actually Ash before she became the simulacrum you know in Apex today. Mary didn't know it, but Reed had her own secret agenda. She wasn't on the project to help people, she was working with the IMC and wanted the branthium and the research for her own power. So on the day of the experiment, Mary entered an escape pod that was attached to the device that would collect branthium. That pod needed to stay tethered to the station so she could safely return after collecting it. Unfortunately, Reed cut that tether, which sent Horizon's pod spiraling towards the black hole's gravitational field, sending Horizon's pod directly into the edge of the black hole. And because of how time behaves around a black hole, Horizon was inside for what felt like moments, but almost 87 years passed outside. When the pod eventually escaped, the black hole released her. Her body was unchanged, but the entire world had aged by nearly a century. Her son Newton, who was a young boy when she left, had lived his whole life and passed away long before she returned.
Do you promise?
What happened to Horizon wasn't just a tragedy, it was a psychological devastation on a scale almost impossible to understand. And based on Horizon's story and what we know from psychology, here's the most realistic and human set of psychological impacts she would go through. The first one is betrayal trauma. Reed wasn't just a co-worker, she was a trusted partner. Being betrayed by someone you rely on in a life or death situation creates trust issues, paranoia, difficulty forming new relationships. Horizon's entire life was destroyed because of someone she trusted. That type of betrayal fundamentally changes how you see people. Next is survivor's guilt. Now this is a weird one because survivor's guilt is usually thought of in very specific terms. Something like a soldier in battle, a passenger in a crash, basically the sole survivor of a tragedy. But Horizon's case is different. She didn't survive a disaster while Newton died. He lived a full, long life. From the outside, there's no reason for her to feel guilty, right? And yet she still does. Because she wasn't there. She missed every moment of his life, every birthday, every first word, every heartbreak. That makes her guilt unique. It isn't about escaping death. It's about watching a lifetime slip away without her. Even when it's not your fault, the mind can carry guilt for moments you weren't there and the promises you couldn't keep. Last of all, identity crisis. The people she knew are gone. Her world has moved on without her. Now she has to figure out who she is all over again, and not as a mother who watched her son grow, but as a mother who missed everything he became. Horizon saved the Outlands, but couldn't save the one person she loved most, and all she has left now is the echo of a promise she tried to keep, and a lifetime of moments she'll never get back.